Good morning. The front end of the financial services industry centers around lending. The back end, when loans go bad, center around collections. We're here today to talk about the back end. My name is John Lewis, and I'm the president of Intellaegis. It's my business partner, Sean Britton, head of our product development team. We're excited to have the opportunity to show you a product that we've developed that addresses a common and significant problem that every lender faces within their collection department. How to handle the massive amounts of data that they're processing, from public records to performance metrics. If you look at the screen, Sean's showing you an example of a report that's traditionally used for locating delinquent customers. Collectors get these reports online from public records data aggregators who compile hundreds of pages of information and thousands of possible leads on any given person. It's not that there's a lack of information available, quite the contrary. There's way too much information available, and frankly, it's kind of like drinking water from a fire hose. What do you do with all this information? Where do you start? How effective are your employees at gathering, identifying, and utilizing only the most relevant data? In the past 12 months, I've visited the largest lenders in the country. Many are current clients of ours, and many of you are here today. Every one of these companies shares a common problem. Unfortunately, they all waste a tremendous amount of time and money in how they gather and utilize public records, web-based information. When this information comes into their collection department, it poses a problem. One of our current clients said that before using MasterQ, each collector conservatively spent up to an hour a day gathering and analyzing data on their customers. After they started using MasterQ, they cut that time down to 0. MasterQ is a web-based risk monitoring, risk management, collection workflow software system. It's built to handle early through late-stage delinquent accounts as it gathers, organizes, and tracks all aspects of the collection and the recovery process. Best of all, MasterQ requires no installation and no IT resources. So let's take a look at MasterQ. After you log in, your queue is shown on the screen. Sean's showing 2 demo accounts. One's in my name, one's in his. As soon as any account is placed into MasterQ, in real time, we collect historical public records data as well as the person's online, open source, web information footprint. Within seconds, we know their relatives, their neighbors, landlords, employers, friends, their ex-wives, their blog, the websites they visit. If it's public information, if it's available, we automate the gathering of the data, and then we add structure and intelligence by organizing, consolidating the data, validating the addresses and the phone numbers, and finally, we provide a findability score that we call Findex. Findex represents the likelihood of finding the person that's based upon the quality and the quantity of the information that MasterQ has gathered on the subject that you're looking for. The higher the score, the better the chance you have of finding that person. Using Findex, you can also identify the low-hanging fruit, put your best people on the most difficult accounts. You can score an entire collector's queue to see how their queue compares to another collector, and you can also score an entire portfolio of accounts. The next screen shows the primary workspace for your collectors. It's got the usual stuff like account information, notes, delinquency statistics, but we've also automatically gathered all of the data and information that's available about the person, and it's now housed on one screen. We've taken each piece of that data then, and we score it. We then use this score to prioritize the data into the order that will give your collectors the best chance for a quick resolution. And it's really just that simple. You open up an account, the system tells you who to call, you make the call, you document the result, you click next, and then the next highest scoring lead comes up and your collector makes the next call. MasterQ helps you focus on making calls instead of wasting time gathering and analyzing data. We transform inexperienced and low-performing collectors into top performers. And we're able to do this because we use the data in ways that's simply not possible with companies who are still using paper reports and legacy collection systems. One example of how MasterQ uses data in a unique way is with our mapping technology. We've built this through strategic relationships that we've developed with Navtech and Bing Maps. Here, a person posted a photo of themselves online using a GPS-enabled smartphone. MasterQ grabbed the meta tag from the phone, gathered all the relevant data on the person that was associated with the address where the photo was taken, the property owner, their phone number, the occupants of the address, their current phone numbers, their email addresses. What does this mean to your bottom line? Well, the client that I mentioned a minute ago, they're saving an hour per employee per day, and if you multiply that over a 600-person call center, that's the equivalent of 77 full-time employees a day gathering data. That doesn't even take into account how much more effective they are at their job and the more dramatic improvements that they've seen in locating their lost assets. The last thing I want to show you today is the management aspect of MasterQ. You can't manage what you can't measure. It's one thing to collect the data, but MasterQ makes the data actionable, which will drive profit to your bottom line. Sean's showing you some of the metrics that we capture that allow you to identify the high performers so you can reward them, and the low performers so that you can retrain them, or if need, let them go. We do the same thing with your vendors. Which ones are performing? Which ones are in compliance? More importantly, which ones are putting your company at risk because they're underperforming or because they're not in compliance? Having access to the details is important, but a good manager is never reactive. With this in mind, MasterQ goes the extra mile, and through our alert system that Sean's showing on the screen, we proactively tell you there's a problem developing before that problem becomes critical. That gives you a heads up so that if you need to be able to apply the resources to resolve a potential situation before it becomes a problem. With MasterQ, your employees are also more accountable. They see what's expected of them, and they proactively are alerted when their performance falls below expectations. So I'd like to leave you with one last thought. Knowledge is power. In the past 30 years that I've spent as a skip tracer, I've learned how to gain knowledge through data. And with MasterQ, we transform that data into results. That will help you take the fear out of lending. Today, we've only been able to show you a very small part of MasterQ, and we'd like to invite you to stop by the networking session to meet our other partners and to be able to see how your company can gather, organize, track, and improve your bottom line results. Thank you.